Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to No Invite live stream, guys. Can you guys believe October is almost over? It is chilly right now. I have my heater turned on, man. It's been hitting mid 30s, dipping down to the high teens past couple days. If you got any standing water outside, it's been frozen. I haven't checked out any of the local lakes to see if it's um lightweight frozen or not. But yeah, I am super excited for ice fishing, man. Can you guys believe that summer came by and it is gone, guys? Thank you guys for watching tonight, guys. We are coming to a season ending. It is not going to end on this episode. I feel like I might be able to push one more or two more episode on, but tonight we are headed to the Midwest. We're going to be with Trevor Lowe Fishing, one of the many brothers out from the Midwest, guys. So we're gonna get to know him a little bit more. When I first started dipping my toe into the outdoor mount community scene, sadly, I'm not a bass fisherman, but then he was one of the active members that were posting and sharing content and competing in some bass competition, guys. So yeah, if you guys are joining us live, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section. If you guys are rewatching this, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Facebook page so you guys could next time see it live. I'm gonna get brother Trevor on. All right, guys. Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey man, it's good to see you. How are you?
Hey, nice to finally get to talk to you. Thank you for making time for your busy schedule to join me tonight, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate you reaching out. I love jumping on podcasts, love talking to people, meeting people. So this will be fun.
Yeah, I seen you have done some before, so you'll be a natural at this. I've had like people that never done it, and I've like encouraged them to do it, and they hop on and they love it, man. It's something really cool.
Yeah, it's always a good time. I think, like I said, meeting people, getting to know people from all around the world is always fun, and kind of understanding people's different backgrounds and kind of where they come from, what they do. That's always enjoyable for me.
Yeah. I had a last guest like 2 episodes ago, Donovan. Donovan, he was like
Hmm.
he spoke highly of you, man. He's like you're like one
Yeah,
of his mentor.
yeah, he's a good kid. I met him so long ago when he was itty bitty, and it's really cool to see him and his dad especially help him get into the fishing scene. Fishing tournaments, fishing in the like the youth leagues, and I'm sure he's going to make his way into the college series as well. So that'll be really cool to watch.
Yeah, can't wait to see where he's headed in the future, man. But yeah, tonight, it's about you. We're gonna get to know you a little bit. Like I was saying earlier, when I first dipped my toe into the outdoor community scene, you were like pretty active. You were competing. You were like posting fishing photo, fishing video. Um, uh, Kind of seeing you slow down on it, but you know what? I'm pretty sure life's been busy for you. Tell us a little bit about Trevor Lowe Fishing to those who don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of people that know me, are at least from the Midwest, Minnesota, Wisconsin, that whole scene, the fishing community here. But for those that don't, I got started fishing when I was a kid, like most of us do. Us Hmong people, fishing kind of runs in our blood. The outdoors runs in our blood. We fish, we hunt, we play soccer, we we play volleyball,
All right.
uh, and so hunting and fishing has kind of been in my life ever since I was a little kid. So my dad was the one who introduced me, and I started fishing for crappies, fishing for sunnies, and as you get older, you start fishing for bass. They fight a little bit better, and yeah, I mean, I just kind of got the tournament bug, started fishing tournaments, and wanted to do it for a living. But obviously, we can get into that a little bit later on
Yeah.
in our talk tonight. But yeah, I just kind of got started with that, and been in the fishing industry ever since.
Awesome. We have Finesse List saying hello on our comment. Hey, what's up, Finesse List? I think that's how you pronounce it. Thank you for doing this, guys. That's cool, man. That's cool. Definitely kind of like the same story here. My dad took me out fishing, and man, from there on is history. When did it become more than a hobby to you, or when did you wanted to take it to the next level?
Yeah, yeah. I remember my first tournament I ever fished was this small pickup tournament. There was a club here in Minnesota. It was kind of one of the first fishing tournament clubs, called Moan Bass Club (HBC). And
Nice.
there's a guy that I knew that took me as a co-angler, and I think I was 15 at the time or something like that. So just getting my feet wet, like you said, and we fished on the Mississippi down in Pool Four, which is down in Wabasha. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was just super cool because I'd always loved fishing, and hadn't been on a bass boat all that much at that point in my life. But to see all these guys, at the time with just brand new Tundras and brand new Rangers and stuff like that, it was like, man, this was so cool. And yeah, I caught the tournament bug, and I was like, dude, I want to do this, man. I'm done playing soccer. I want to go and chase after this. And yeah, that's kind of when it started for me. And yeah, it took off going into college, and I made my college decision based off of the fishing teams, and yeah, fished the college series and that whole deal. So
Nice, nice, nice. So in your neck of the wood, from what I keep hearing, there is 10,000 lake. What is one of your favorite lakes and type of fish do you like fishing?
yeah, Minnesota's land of 10,000 lakes. That's something that we kind of quote on boast about.
Right.
It's actually about 12,000 and change,
Oh
but
wow.
it doesn't really compare to Alaska. I know that Alaska's got like tons of lakes, like way more than 12,000. But
Yeah.
if I were to pick one here in Minnesota, it'd probably be Mille Lacs. It's called Mille Lacs Lake. It's like dead center of Minnesota. It's a big lake that's probably about 20 miles across. It looks like a big circle,
Oh wow.
um, but it's just full of big smallmouth. You can catch big largemouth in there as well. But that's what I love doing. So
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I spoke to a few brothers on some of the last podcasts, and yeah, they like Mille Lacs too, man. Um,
yeah,
wish in the future I get the chance to come and visit Minnesota and see it for myself. But yeah,
yeah,
I hear people speak highly of that lake, man. That's cool, man.
yeah, yeah.
When you fish, do you fish to eat or do you catch and release?
I'm pretty strict on catch and release.
Yeah.
If there are some crazy circumstance where, a fish dies, then I'll take it home
Oh,
and
okay.
give it to like my grandma or something like that. But generally speaking, if I'm catching bass, they're going back in the water. I tell people all
Okay.
the time. One, I run a guide business. I'm a full-time guide. So if I take the fish home, they're not there for the next clients. Same thing in a tournament. If I take the fish home during practice, they're not going to be there in the tournament. So generally, I catch and release.
Yeah, nothing against that, man. People catch and eat, people catch and
Yep.
release. Last year I got the opportunity to finally started practicing catch and release since the fish were a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good feeling, man. Just get that photo out, bam, drop it back down, man. That's all you
Yeah.
need. Sometime, yeah, it's just filling the freezer up. But it's cool too, just to catch and release, man. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of talked a little bit before we got on. You said you got busy. Life's been pretty busy since ago. Um, does the wife and the kid approve you doing it, or have you like just cut back and haven't been really active anymore?
Yeah. No, my wife has been a supporter since day one. It's funny, when we first started kind of dating was right when I won the college series, and she didn't really know what she had signed up for. She was there at the weigh-in when I won the college series, and I was crying on the stage, and she was kind of standing like, "What the heck is this dude crying about?" It's a small tournament. There was like 6 people in this tournament, and this guy's crying. He got $7,000 or $7,500, and I don't understand why he's crying, but ever since that happened, she's basically been fully immersed into the bass fishing industry with me, just because of being my wife or being my girlfriend or whatever. And so she's really seen the inside look of that bass fishing industry and how kind of immense it is and everything that goes on in the industry. So yeah, she's very well versed in it. She's been a big supporter, and I have 2 kids now. So I have a little girl who's about a little over 2, and then I have a son who's about 3 months, almost 4 months. So my daughter, she got out on the boat with us this year for the first time, or this past summer, and I don't know if she wants to fish, great. If she doesn't, great. It's totally fine. It's kind of the same thing with my son, but I feel like just from the last 3 months, he's really exhibiting a lot of my characteristics and a lot of my qualities. So hopefully he picks up the hunting and the fishing too, because that'd be a ton of fun to share
Right.
those with him.
Yeah, definitely share the memories and the opportunity. Yeah, I got a 5-year-old and I'm planning on taking him out this ice fishing season, so I'm super excited.
Sweet.
Man, I gear up a whole bunch of gear just so that I could take him out.
Yep.
Um, you know, ice fishing. The struggle is not even fishing; it's the weather.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Have you been actively or have you been posting on your YouTube channel? I see you do have a
Ye-
YouTube channel.
Yeah, I really I've always had one just to have one.
Mhm.
I would say the last however many 5 or 6 years that I've had it, I haven't really been posting consistently on there. I left my job at a tackle retailer here this past March, or the end of March, to pursue guiding full time, content creation full time, and with the intentions of, hey, I'm going to be posting content, YouTube videos twice a week, whether it's how to do this, how to do that, what should you be looking for if you're targeting this sort of deal, or even just, day on the water, catching fish, that sort of stuff. And kind of like you said, life gets busy, start working, start booking a lot of clients, taking clients out. So like it's hard enough to have somebody watch your kids while you're on the water, because as many of you know, being on the water is not like I'm only gone for 2 hours. You have to be out for like the whole day. You have to find fish, you have to catch fish, you have to get it on camera. Then you come home, you got to edit the content, edit the footage, and then you got to publish it. So it's like a whole full-time gig if you want to do it. And just got busy. So the content creation has kind of taken a back seat. The guiding, was busier for me this year, or that was more of my priority, because that's where your income is coming in. Whereas the content, kind of like we talked about earlier, if you are just getting started, you're making pennies
Right.
before, yeah, you're making pennies before you really make anything. So it's challenging to prioritize that when I can go and book some clients and focus on that and actually make some decent money doing that, rather than putting out the same amount of time for a YouTube video that gets 500 likes because you're just start or 500 views just because you're starting out, and you're not even monetizing your channel yet. So yeah, that long-winded answer just to say it's been busy. My intentions are to get back into it, but we'll see how much time I can dedicate to it.
Awesome, 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 man. Yeah, definitely, man. Talking about guy, we'll get into more with your guy business a little later on the segment, where we get into also your computing. Uh, that's also a life goal for me too. If I do decide to reside in Alaska for another 10, 20 years, guide business up here is really like I'm talking about, like they make a lot of money. Like
Yeah.
they take tourists to go fish like common places where I go fish to, and they're charging like 300-500 bucks a person. That's crazy, man.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a good business to get to. But yeah, talking about your content, we're gonna check out your content, man. I was kind of like watching some of your videos. I'm not really a big bass fisherman, so I don't really know what I'm watching, but I like fishing, so I know there's fishing involved, and yeah, we're gonna check out some of your content. Let's
Sweet.
start with your most recent video. And yeah, kind of share like some context with us, like where you're at, where you're using, what kind of rod, reel, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Are you pulling it up, or do you just want me to chat about it?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now, and then we're
Okay.
actually gonna watch it. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
There's one on the bed right next to it.
Where we at?
This is Mille Lacs, man. This is Mille Lacs. I would consider this my home lake. I'm up here multiple times a week, and it's primarily all smallmouth when you are
like a
fishing on
decent
the main
one.
lake.
Okay.
So this video here, you know, we're basically just kind of going through one of my favorite ways to catch them on Mille Lacs is just throwing a little small paddle tail swim bait. Very simple. It's a little ball head jig, and you put a little plastic swimmer on there that just has a little tail that kicks around. And yeah, you can cover a lot of water with it. You know, you can fish it fast, fish it slow, however you want. So it's a good way to catch them.
Going after smallmouth with one of my favorite ways to catch them, and that is a swim bait.
You don't like
Let's get this guy on the boat real
combat
quick.
fishing on the shore? You prefer to be on a boat?
Just a dandy.
Yeah. I feel like being on a boat gives you more, I guess, flexibility on where you're fishing, moving around, that sort of deal.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, and like generally speaking, I try to get away from people, you know, whether that's getting offshore and kind of going in the middle of the lake or something. But all kind of depends on the weather too.
Nice. That's a nice fish right there, man.
Grown one. So let's get into the weeds about this a little bit more. Show you guys how to catch fish like this on a little paddle tail swim bait. Stay tuned.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's like you said, that's the quality of fish that you're gonna find on Mille Lacs pretty frequently. There's a lot of big ones there, and yeah, it's a ton of fun.
Yeah, man. That I like growing up. I'm from Sacramento, California. I fished like the Delta like a few times. I've only ever caught a largemouth bass about like that big. I never really got to do any bass fishing or fishing in the area at that time. I was into other stuff, different hobby, and then I moved to Alaska, and I finally discovered salmon fishing, and salmon fishing is fun. I just see that bass fishing just so much more technical.
Yeah,
so much more technical.
Are there people that do salmon fishing off of like boats and that sort of deal? Or I mean, I guess with their deep, but if they're like running up the channel or up the streams and the rivers and stuff, are there guys in boats that are targeting them still?
Yeah. They guide on the river, like they're like on the boat going up and down. They'll also bank it, and then they fish off of like little like hidden special shorelines, and they're also in the ocean trolling too. That's where most of the salmon are. In the ocean, they're a little bit deeper, but yeah, that's where you get the fresh chrome one, man, the one with the sea lice on it in the ocean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's just kind of my ignorance being from Minnesota. You know, I think salmon fishing, I think really shallow creeks, their backs are sticking out of the water, you know, bears are grabbing them out of the water and that sort of thing. And, you know, you forget that they also live in the ocean and
they're from the ocean.
They're deep.
Yeah, if you have a nice big boat, one of them like I don't know if it's like a 50-footer, but it's not like a 20-footer. It's like big.
Yeah.
A lot of like charters in Alaska, they got big boat and they fish for salmon all year round because they go out where the salmons are, you know, like living, you know, growing up. Yeah. So but we usually just get it in the summertime when they're running. In the creeks and rivers. So yeah, it's kind of like what you were picturing. Is just there's also the ocean option also.
Yeah, very cool.
Cool, man. And we're gonna check out another video. Let's see which next one. I'm gonna kind of just wait. Let me see. Okay.
This is my wife.
Okay, this fits really good in my hands. All right, so I'm gonna press this button and I'm gonna take my thumb off when I throw. All right.
This video always makes me chuckle.
No backlash. And I threw it right into the wind. A lot easier than I thought.
So the context behind this video, it's kind of a standalone deal. So Daiwa is a sponsor of mine, and we were working. They had reached out to me to put together some content for the new Tatula SV reel. And one of the key talking points that they wanted us to highlight in our content was the ability to throw this reel without backlashing. Whether that's using light line or light lures or if you're skipping it or if you're throwing into the wind, the biggest thing was to showcase that, you can really use this and not backlash and not have to deal with backlash a lot, especially for like young anglers, beginners, that sort of thing. So I said, who better than my wife that has never thrown a bait caster in her life to showcase this, and yeah, she's in at the time she was in news, so she was a news reporter here, and she's kind of the one who really helped me understand, what's a lav mic, why do I need really good audio outside of just recording it on your phone or something like that, production quality. So she helped me with all that sort of stuff, and then I made her help me with casting into the wind. So and obviously she's a little better looking than I am, so it definitely helps.
Yeah, I seen the video. I was like, oh, is this like a Daiwa commercial? Nah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Essentially, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That video was featured on Daiwa's website, showing the different, I guess, technologies in that reel or the benefits of using that reel. So that did make it onto the Daiwa
Yeah,
website.
that video looked really like well done. So that's why I had to
Yeah.
share it. We got
Thanks.
Sean. Does it ever bird nest? He's probably talking about that reel.
It can. I mean, any reel can bird nest. There's no bird nest free reel. Whether it's your SV spools from Daiwa or if it's the DC technology from Shimano. Every reel has the ability to bird's nest, but what it really does help with is just reducing the amount that it will do it. So definitely check it out if you haven't yet.
For sure, guys. So if you guys are watching live and if you guys are not following Trevor Lowe already, make sure to check out his Facebook page, facebook.com/Trevor Lowe Fishing. Also his YouTube channel, guys, youtube.com/@Trevor Lowe Fishing to see more of his content. Yeah, and if you guys are rewatching this, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, CHUAKIAGX3, and my Facebook page, CHUAKIA, so that in the future when I come on live, you guys will get to see us live and not rewatch it. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight, guys. If you guys have a question to ask, make sure to ask. Okay, this is one of the only time I've ever seen Trevor Lowe on a podcast since a minute now. So ask if you guys want to know. All right. Sean also asked, I got a bird nest free reel. It's called spinning reel.
Yeah. I tell you what, spinning reels are fantastic, especially for not birds nesting. But the two things that I will say that are bad about a spinning reel is the first one is line twist. So if you're not using braid, man, you're going to get really bad line twist, whether you're using mono or you're using fluorocarbon. That line twist is a nightmare to deal with. And then the second thing is if you are using very light braid, you can get what are called wind knots. And I think those are even worse than backlashing because they basically will just twist everything up. And, you're peeling out tons and tons of line. And, oh, man, that stuff just ends up knotting on itself. And you basically cut out half your spool just to get it out.
Yeah, man, I believe you, man, with that braid and that spinning reel. Because in Alaska we use like heavy braid because we're snagging. Snagging for salmon is legal here.
Yeah.
So we're snagging and we're throwing, and man, through the wind, that braid is just like, or it'll catch your tip. I haven't tried out a bait caster yet. I just been comfortable with the spin reel, but I've been looking into it so that I could do some flow fishing. I heard it's really good for flow fishing. All right. Yeah. So this segment of the program, we're gonna touch base a little bit on your 2015 Bassmaster College Series competition, man. Before like we get to your personal experience and your and your win, congratulations. What does one angler have to do to get themselves into a Bassmaster series?
Yeah, so the college series is very very good in the sense of being open to basically anybody. If you're a full-time student at any sort of college, whether that's a community college, a small technical college, or like a big time university, Texas A&M, University of Alabama, blah blah blah, U of M. you know, the opportunity is for everybody to fish in the Bassmaster College Series. So Bassmaster does a fantastic job of making it an opportunity that's available for everybody. But you know, it's completely free to compete in these tournaments or these college series. So essentially what you have to do is just make sure that you have an organized team at your school. You know, it could be just you and another person, it could just be you. But you can enter into these tournaments and they're going to split you up based on where you are geographically in the country. So Alaska, I don't even know what region you guys would fish. I mean, you guys are as far away as you can get except Hawaii, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Probably California, because there's no bass in Alaska.
Sure, yeah. So but here in Minnesota, you know, we fished in the Midwest region. So we had a tournament. So I can kind of just break it down for you, at least the way it was when I was fishing it. You know, that was almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
But so when I fished it, we had different divisions. So we were in the Midwest division, and you have a regional tournament, a divisional tournament, where all the colleges in that division will come to one place and fish to try to qualify for nationals. So that year, the regional tournament was on the Mississippi River in La Crosse, Wisconsin. So we fished that, and we had 80 something teams. So what they do is for 50 teams, they take the top 10 and they bring you to nationals. You qualify for nationals. Every additional 10 teams, they bring in one more spot. So with there being, you know, 80 something teams, they took the top 13 teams, the 10 from the 50, and then with 30 additional, then you have got 3 more additional spots. So the top 13 would go fish nationals, and we took 13th place. So we barely got in. I think it was by like, you know, 4 or 5 ounces. It was a very small amount. So we made nationals, and nationals was also in Wisconsin. It was in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, because that year, the University of Stevens Point had one of the biggest college fishing teams there. So they wanted a very good host for their national championship. So the tournament was there, and there was something like 80 something teams in that event as well. And so my partner and I, we ended up taking second place in nationals, and they take the top 4 teams in that tournament, and then they split you up, and they give everybody a boat to use. So they give 4 teams of 2. There's 8 individual anglers, and they give everybody the same exact boat. You obviously, you know, supply your own gear, but they level out the playing field, and then you go one-on-one against another opponent for a day. You beat that person, you go to the next day. You beat that person, you go to the final day. And if you win that, then you win the whole thing. So that's what I ended up winning. And yeah, it's, you know, it's crazy because you're taking thousands and thousands of anglers across the country, and you're narrowing it all the way down into one. And I happen to be that one that year. So,
Man, amazing! Congratulations.
thank you.
Was it like by ounces, by fish, by like how like close were you guys, like you and the other guy?
Yeah. So what we do in that tournament, that particular time of year, the Wisconsin limit was 3 fish. So you catch your 3 biggest fish and you bring them in, you weigh them in at the end of the day. So there's something called culling, where if, let's just say you have 3 fish and they're all 1 pound each, and then you have them all in your live well, and you catch a big one, you catch a 4-pounder, you can release your smallest fish and then keep that 4-pounder, and they call that culling. So on the final day of the tournament, I had 3 fish for 6 pounds and 3 ounces, and the guy that I was competing against, he only caught 1 fish that day. So ended up beating him by a couple pounds, but you know, it with it being such a small limit of fish, you know, 3 fish, you never know. It's usually separated by ounces because a lot of the fish are kind of the same size.
Right. Yeah, man. Cool, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This was like almost 10 years ago, huh?
Yeah. I'm getting old.
You OG now. We got a few guys in the comment section, and we're gonna start up top with Fishing with Charles. What's his favorite species to fish? Trevor Lowe, what's your favorite species to fish?
It's got to be smallmouth bass. At least in terms of bass. You know, there's a lot of species that are kind of on my bucket list that I haven't fished yet. You know, like tarpon, redfish. I'd love to go catch, you know, marlin or something like that. But in terms of freshwater, of what I've caught so far, it has to be smallmouth.
All right. And then we got brother Sal. What's up, Bassang and Trevor?
What's up,
Big
brother? It's
shout
good
out,
to see you.
big shout outs to brother Sal. Thank you for joining us tonight. Fishing with Charles again sounds like smallmouth, but uh, gotta ask since they have way more fish species than us in Alaska. Yeah.
Yep,
Yep, definitely.
definitely smallmouth.
And then when we like them long, thank you for joining us tonight. We like them long. Any plans of getting into the bass EQs?
Yeah, the bass EQs I fished. I mean, prior to becoming the EQs, they were called the Opens, and I fished those back in 2021. But they moved to a different format of needing to fish 9 tournaments to qualify for the Elite Series, and because of that, I decided to take a step back. With it going back to a different format, I'm definitely interested in fishing the EQs again. It all depends, man. I tell people all the time, I love fishing, but I really love being home with my family too. And I say that because, being in the industry, I see the commitment that it is to fish professionally at the highest level. There are guys that are away from their family 9 months out of the year, and I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if it's necessarily uh, a responsible thing to do as a father, to be away from your family that much, and a husband as well. So it's something that everybody is going to have a different answer to. But if the opportunity is there for me to have my family travel with me, if I make the professional level, then that'd be something I would do. But if I have to leave my family for that much time every single year, I probably wouldn't go for it.
I can relate to you, and I feel you. I feel the pain.
Yeah.
Since we haven't had a really great salmon season, I actually stopped fishing like in August. Usually, I fish all the way until the end of October, or I mean, in the middle of October. And yeah, the last 2 months I've been hanging out with my 2 young boy, and man, they are growing so fast, man. These are times that I don't want to miss for anything. Fishing can wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Fishing will always
Uh,
be there. Your kids are going to grow up fast.
Right, so fast. Brother Sal also asks again, what's your experience with the X braid finesse, pros and cons?
Yeah, I actually have not used it yet. I know that it's pretty new. I've just been super happy with the Daiwa J braid, so I've been using that. I've got like a couple of really big, like 3,000 yard spools of it, and I haven't run through it yet because, as you all know, braid can last many years on your spool. It's not like monofilament or fluorocarbon where you get all that coily memory and you got to switch it out a ton. So haven't had a chance to use the X braid, but I'd like to at some point.
Definitely. Thank you guys for all the amazing comment, guys. Keep bringing them in. We are coming to the end of our segment, but we still got a few more questions to ask brother Trevor. If you guys are rewatching this, make sure to check out my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. So next time when we come on live, you guys get to join us in the live comment section. And also, if you guys are not already following Trevor Lowe on Facebook, this is Trevor Lowe's Facebook page, facebook.com/Trevor Lowe Fishing, youtube.com at Trevor Lowe Fishing. Check out his content also. So you say that you're doing the full-time guide now. Share us your guide company name, is it, and also share us can you share us one little story on how you get your day going on as a guide business?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, I run my own business. It's just Trevor Lowe Fishing.
Okay.
My website, trevorlowefishing.com. So that's generally where most of my bookings come through. But I've got my website up. It gives you the options of the 2 lakes that I guide on. One is Mille Lacs, the other is Lake Minnetonka, both around here in Minnesota. Minnetonka is more for largemouth, Mille Lacs is for smallmouth. Although you can catch, the other one in both the other lakes as well. But generally, when a client reaches out, we kind of discuss details on what day they want to go, what they need to bring, that sort of stuff. So I provide basically everything minus lunch, so food and drinks are on them. I'll always have water in the boat in case, people need water. I provide, ice in a cooler. So if they want to keep stuff cold, they can do that. I provide all the gear, all the rods and the reels, all the tackle, everything's included with the guide price, the guide trip price. So it's not like you're paying extra. If you break a rod, it's like you broke a rod. Sometimes it's out of our control. If you get stuck and you lose a bunch of hooks, I'm not gonna tally up how many hooks you lost and charge you. That's with it. So take people out of my boat. I meet them at the lake. We'll start depending on how the bite is. If it's a good morning bite, we'll get there early. If it's smallmouth are notorious for being I guess visual feeders. So they like sunlight. Bright sunny days generally are better than cloudy days for smallmouth. So if we got a window of time where it's going to get sunny at 10 a.m., maybe we'll start at 10 a.m. instead of 6 in the morning, just because that seems to be better for them. And I want to make sure the amount of time that we're spending on there is the most productive time that we're out on the water. So generally my trips are 6 to 8 hours a day, so basically a full day. And if we're catching fish, we're just going to keep catching them. I'm not going to pull people off of fish and say, oh, sorry, your 8 hours are up, we're going to go. But if we're catching fish, we'll just keep catching them. And if we're not catching fish, we'll stick out a little bit longer and go try to find some more fish. So I'm pretty lenient on not saying, sorry, you paid for 8 hours, you only get 8 hours, we're done. So yeah, I mean it's pretty self-explanatory. We get out, we go catch fish. I generally help people find fish, so I'll be casting until we hook into a fish, and as soon as we hook into a fish, I put the rod down and I say, you guys go, cast this way, cast that way, and there's a school of fish over here or whatever, and I let them do all the catching, and I'll just be net boy and I'll take pictures. So
sounds hella fun, man. Whenever I come visit, I know who to call for sure.
Yeah, definitely let me know.
If so, like someone like me who's like never done any bass fishing before, right? We're gonna use your neck of the wood. What is a free tip you could throw at me, man, so that I could be successful? Largemouth bass, smallmouth bass,
Yeah, if you're fishing, so we'll start with largemouth. If you're fishing largemouth, I mean, fish around grass. That's always the key here. If you can find weeds, clean, green vegetation, the greener the better. I would say definitely do that. There's always going to be fish shallow. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. If it's summer, or if it's early springtime, late fall, there's always going to be fish shallow. So if you're just looking to catch fish, you can always go fish shallow. And for smallmouth, the biggest thing, it's challenging to target smallmouth off the bank or off the shore. Being in a boat is definitely going to help you because they are very nomadic. They like to move around quite a bit. So you just have to cover a lot of water. Don't get too bogged down in one spot and say, well, I caught them here the other day, they have to be here still. That's not the case. Keep moving. When you get a bite, trust me, there will be more around it. You don't need to sit in one area and say, oh, I have to drag a worm for every 30 minutes you get one bite. It's like, just go find the active fish, and when they're active, they're all active. You're going to catch them every single cast. Yep.
Nice. Make sure you guys write that down, guys, if you guys are watching. You doing ice fishing?
I don't. I've done it with friends in the past. It's a whole nother thing, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into it. There's just too much gear.
I'm surprised you're from Minnesota and you don't do ice fishing, man.
Yeah, I mean, here in Minnesota, you start getting good ice around January, February.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it gets cold enough where you get early ice seasons in like December and that sort of stuff. And I hear early ice is really good, but I'm pretty lazy in the sense that I don't want to walk across an entire lake. I'd rather drive across the lake. And if I can't drive a truck out there, it's like, dude, I don't want to be pulling a sled a mile.
Oh yeah,
that's super far. So
yeah.
That doesn't happen until like January, February, and by that time it's like two degrees outside, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go fish in 2 degrees.
I don't blame you, man.
Yeah.
I recently discovered ice fishing too, like 2 years ago, and it's not bad because a lot of we get like early ice like the last week of October, so we are coming in.
That's crazy.
So we get it from October, and then in November it's like good ice rate, about 6 inch plus, and
Yep.
then we get it all the way until March, and then that's when it starts warming, and then that's when we stop going out. Like some people will go out like the last week of March, but other than that, we get like a good amount of time. So like I do like 2-3 month of ice fishing season, like actively
Sure.
every weekend.
Yeah.
It's been fun. This year is gonna be my solid third season. Can't wait. I've actually discovered fishing bigger lakes out of town that I have to drive about a mile, and yeah, they're like trophy trout, trophy Arctic char,
Yeah.
trophy lake trout, man. Some
That's
big
cool.
fish. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to ice fishing, man.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. It was great talking to you, man. A lot of thing. Last question I do have though. If let me see if anybody. Oh. We have Sal. Sal. What two advice you have for these young high school angler fishing interests? High school bass national series. Fishing interested in high school bass national series. What two advice do you have for them?
Yeah. I mean, get plugged in. I would say try to fish as much as you can, because a lot of these kids, especially from up here in the Midwest, we don't get to fish as much as those kids do down south. Like you said, we freeze in the winter. Their water stays open year round, so they're going to come in with just tons and tons of fishing experience. So if
Mm,
you want to be competitive, if you want to, have a chance against these kids from the South, man, you got to be fishing as much as you can. And yeah, it's challenging. You're young, you're in high school. A lot of times they're young, they don't have cars or they don't have a boat or anything like that. But as much as you can get out, I would say try to get out and fish. Don't just go and fish what you're comfortable fishing. Don't just go to your favorite lake because you can catch them every time on your favorite lake. Go to different lakes. Learn how to fish different lakes. Learn how to fish docks. Learn how to fish deep rocks. Learn how to fish grass. Learn how to do different techniques. Because you're going to be using all of that, especially once you make it in the high school. The high school the national level. When you're fishing outside of the state, you're going down to South Carolina to go fish the national tournament. It's not going to be anything like you're fishing up here. So if all you know how to do is flip docks for bass, you're going to go down south and those docks are completely different than they are from up here. Or if you're fishing grass down here and you go to a lake down south and there's no grass, like what are you going to do? So definitely get out there, fish as much as you can. And I mean, that was a bunch of little things in that thing. So I guess if that counts for two, then
yeah,
I would say
yeah,
that counts for two.
yeah. That counts for a lot. So yeah, you don't have to be a kid. You can be an adult, and you can still write these notes down. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Cool. Right. Yeah. So what I was saying, it's been amazing talking to you, man. Have you ever thought of visiting Alaska?
I'd love to. Alaska is kind of one of those states that I feel like I have to go and visit at least once. I don't know like anything about it. I know there's a ton of lakes up there. I feel like it's dark all the time up there. Um, I know there are grizzly bears up there. That's about all I know about Alaska. So, but I'd love to make it up there sometime.
Definitely, yeah. I've been out here for like 10 years now, and it's been amazing
Yeah.
experience. I'm from Sacramento, California. I never knew that I would end up here, but I'm here with my family now. And yeah, I love it, man. The outdoor is beautiful. I go
Hmm.
15-minute out of town, and it's wilderness, the last frontier for thousands of miles, man.
Yeah.
Fishing has been like heaven. That's all I can say. Salmon heaven. We're getting
Yeah.
like 100,000 run a day. Like I'm not even
Gee.
joking. Like if the water was like smaller, like if the river was like not as wide and narrow, you'll probably see fish over climbing on one another.
Yeah.
It is like the pictures and the postcard that lower 48 people see. It is beautiful. It may not be a place for everyone to reside, but it's definitely a place that I would love everyone to come and experience, man.
Yeah.
Cool,
have a
man.
question. What part of Alaska are you in? That's the first question. And secondly, is there an Alaskan accent? Like there's like a Southern accent or like a Minnesotan accent?
Oh, so I'm in South Central. I'm in Anchorage. It's actually the biggest city, but it's not the capital of Alaska.
Hmm.
And Anchorage, it is a mixing pot bowl of you name it. So there's actually not an accent. A lot of people that come here are from all over the lower 48.
Yeah.
But there is a unique community, the Inuit people that has
Hmm.
been here for thousands of years. So this is like honestly, this is like their land. Like we're
Yeah.
just here, we're just here living on their land. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
they have a whole community of Inuit people, and their culture is it's amazing, man. Like
Really.
I would love to dive more deeper into it, but they're like solitude. They're like they have their little own villages like out like 1,000 mile away where they live off the land, and yeah, that's
Wow.
what's unique about Alaska.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
What what prompted you to go from SAC to Alaska?
I had some relative here. They were just like, you know what, you're not doing much around, where you're from. Come up here and see, what opportunity is there for you. And yeah, I took the opportunity, and man, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it,
That's
man.
cool.
Like,
Very cool.
um, for like I said, it may not be for everybody, but man, if you're like either retiring or if you're just looking for something different and you love like the outdoor hunting,
Yeah.
fishing, hiking, just the scenic, if you could stand the local politics, man, it's a beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
place to
Very
live.
cool.
That's all I gotta say. Like I drive down the road and it has beautiful mountain scenery every day, man. And I'm like, I can't get enough of this.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah,
Are you
it
guys
is.
are you guys Pacific time or are you guys a different time zone?
So we are Alaska time. We are like
Okay.
4 hours from you guys. So
Oh,
um
okay.
it's only 5 p.m. over here.
Okay.
Where what time is it for you over there?
It's
It's
well, it's 7:49. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
I mean it's yeah, so it's 7:49, it's 4:49 for us over here. So
Okay.
you guys are already in the future.
Yes.
That's how
Yes.
I see it. Yeah, so
Yes.
we are 1 hour behind Pacific. I think
Okay.
we're like 1 hour before Hawaii time too, or we might
Okay.
actually be like the last time zone, man.
Gotcha. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, man. If, in the future, if you ever do make it out here, reach out to me, man.
Yeah, I absolutely will. That'll if I come, which I
Yeah,
hope to at some point.
yeah, right. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful place to be, man. Yeah, definitely. It's been nice talking to you, man. Sally, all good things come to an end. um, I want to thank you so much for making time for your busy schedule to join me
You
tonight.
bet.
Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to or give a big thanks to before we end the program?
No, yeah, I just appreciate you reaching out. Like I said, it's always good to meet people, especially other Hmong people that are branching off into this industry. I always love that. I
Yeah,
love seeing up and coming, especially young kids that get into the fishing industry as well. Because for a while there, it felt like I was, not to pat myself on the back, I was kind of the only one that was in the bass fishing industry, and so it's really cool to see other Hmong people getting involved in it, and I always love that and I always support that. So not too many people to shout out. Like you said, just thankful to be here. Appreciate you reaching out, and it's always a good time. So yeah, thank you.
yeah, man. Thank you so much, man, for sharing all your knowledge, and I love your content. Like I was saying, when I dipped my toe into the outdoor community, at that time you were a little bit more active. Like you said,
Mhm.
life gets busy and you step away from it. But yeah, keep going at it with your guy
Thank
business.
you.
Maybe in the future I might have a few questions. Like I was
Sure.
telling you, I'm actually interested in becoming a professional guide in Alaska in the
Nice.
future, man. So yeah, maybe you could give me some pointer on
Yeah.
how a guy business run. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, man.
Absolutely.
All
Cool.
right, guys. Shy Zong just joined us. He's the last guy in the comment. He just say, "Awesome, thank you for joining us, Sally." We are coming to the end of the program. Shy was Shy from Shy Nation. He loved bass fishing too. Maybe you guys haven't seen this content, check out his content. Thank you for joining us, brother Shy. Yeah. Thank you so much, brother. Nothing but love and good health from my
Appreciate you.
family to you. Have a good night. All right.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, man. Thank you for joining me tonight, brother.
Cool.
All right.